Um, this skylight is gonna be a problem. I might have to cover it up, mainly because it's hot, but I love the sunlight coming through. It's just hot. I did it. I finished my table. I tried to record the process of me fixing what I messed up, but my camera died. So you guys just get the final product. But this is how it turned out. I'm so excited. I love it. Actually, kind of just worked itself out. I do have some more like small art pieces that I would like to add in here from inside the house. But I think this is it. I may add like a blanket or something. I may not need it because the skylight is very hot, but it would be nice like whenever it isn't extremely hot in here to have a blanket to like kind of cozy up. The downstairs is not as pretty yet. We're working on it. But one thing I did do today is I did organize all of the wood along the wall. Let me show y'all. Here's what I've done with the wood over here. I basically organized everything by size. It makes me feel a lot better. It also cleared up the space a lot. I have been wondering like what I needed to do to make everything look more spacious in here. And really, your girl just needed to get organized, okay? Sometimes you just gotta get organized because that's literally what did it. That's pretty much it for all the studio updates. Let me see, what have I been up to since last time? Since last time, I spoke at my best friend's school for their Black History program. So that was one of my speaking engagements that I had this month. Yesterday I had an artist talk with Capital One. That's where I'm exhibiting my work at right now until the end of April. And then what else have I been up to? The other thing that I did was facilitate a workshop at one community church. I don't go to that church. However, this is my third time working with them. Whenever they have their conferences, whether it's a single conference or a couples conference, they usually have like creative activations or just different activities. And so I receive a call from time to time when they have that. So that's what I did for Valentine's weekend. And then with my husband, we made soap. The other thing that happened this past weekend is my hair caught on fire. Crazy story, but true story. I went to a Galentine's gathering and there were some candles along the balcony. I felt something hot, so I look over and my arm is like along the balcony near these candles. So I was like, oh shit, let me move. And so I started moving, but at that point it was too late. I don't know if my hair caught on fire first or if my clothes caught on fire first, but your girl was on fire. And I am the most casual person in the world in crisis. I literally was just like, hey, am I on fire? Like, hey, is there fire back there? Like that was my reaction, like not even joking. I'm so thankful for Christina. Christina, she beat that fire off my back. And I just like, I don't know what I would have done without her, because I think I was in shock by the fact that I was on fire, but also like there wasn't enough room to stop, drop, and roll on the balcony, because there was like maybe, I want to say at least 10 people there. And then the balcony it's long, but it's narrow. And then there was like shoes right there. There were chairs right there. And I feel like if I would have did the whole stop, drop, and roll thing, it would have spread, which would have been very bad. It only burnt like the edges of my hair and only on the right side of my hair. And so it didn't do too much damage. It's not noticeable. I was planning to cut my hair. I still might cut my hair just because I've been walking around smelling like a pack of cigarettes. The smell has been fading because it's been a couple of days, but still like I smell like smoke. So yeah, if I do cut my hair, it is what it is, you know, like I'm not too excited about that. I'm not happy about the fact that my hair caught on fire in the first place. As a Black woman with locks, it's a spiritual thing. Like I don't even let just anybody do my hair. I do my own hair because I don't want people touching my hair. So to have my hair burnt to a crisp, was a very interesting experience and also a very spiritual experience for me. But anyways, enough about that. Let me show y'all what I've been up to. So last time I sketched out like the shapes for my next few pieces, and then after that I sketched out the figures on my own time, and this is where we at with it right now. I normally don't do like an underpainting. I've done one, it's just been some years, and also this is my first time doing an underpainting on wood, so we're gonna see how this goes. So far I think I like it, so I think I might continue to do that. This is gonna be another one of those 60-minute sessions, and this time I'll be painting. I will also attempt to yap, but to be real, like when I'm painting, I'm like normally super locked in. So if all you get is silence for this video, I'm sorry. All right. Got it set for 60 minutes. So I kind of gave y'all the background on what I've been up to. So honestly, I don't even know what to talk to y'all about. During the artist talk that I did, one question that stood out to me was about marketing. And my answer was like showing up online, but also showing up in person. I didn't realize it until afterwards that I'm kind of in a transitional phase with both of those environments. I've been moving different and on purpose, because I feel like when you're showing up in person, a lot of the times you're doing, well, I'll speak from my experience. The times that I've shown up in person to market my work specifically has been in the form of doing like pop-up events, like the little pop-up markets and stuff like that. I've had some success with it. However, I'm trying to be a little more strategic about how I move and also control the context in which my work is seen in. And I don't think the pay-to-play spaces are for me anymore. That's where I started. I ain't got nothing against it. However, things are changing. Like I just got paid an honorarium just to exhibit my work. I want more of those opportunities. And so in order to get more of those opportunities, I gotta say no to these other opportunities that are really draining for me. Set up for a whole market, bring a tent, a table, panels. I don't even own panels anymore. I never owned like the correct panels, like the pro panels. I've always had like the grid ones, which I realize depending on who you're talking to, those are frowned upon. Over the past year or so, I've been straying away from doing those and moving a little more strategically. So I think that question made me think, like, how do I show up in person? Getting more paid opportunities that aren't necessarily leading to people purchasing my work, but leading to me getting paid as an artist. Like the event that I did this past weekend where I facilitated a workshop. I feel like showing up in person to these markets don't have the people who would collect the type of artwork that I make, like the price that I'm setting my work. And it's just so much energy to set up, to take down, to stand there all day hustling, trying to get somebody to buy your stuff. But also with the wood pieces that I create now, I can't really hang them on like pro panels anyway. Like I would have to do more work just to hang up my work, because they work better on a flat, hard surface where I can drill screws into the surface, and pro panels and grid panels are not those type of surfaces for my work. I've traveled within the city, I've traveled out of state. The booth space and everything and the energy it takes to set up those things is just not worth it. So I am purposely saying no to a lot of opportunities that are like that, where it's just like my work is up for a day or whatever. Or if I have to pay a fee, like I'm not interested in paying a fee. And the thing is, like, it ain't nothing for me to say no, because like I don't really want to go nowhere anyway. Like I'd rather be at the house. I've tried many things. Like my whole thing has been to learn the art market. So I've tried several different things, and with me trying several different things, I'm creating a structure for myself. And I'm not against working with certain people. Like, I'm always down to work with people if it works for me and if it's mutually beneficial. Art is very time consuming. Not only are you spending your time, you're spending your energy to create this work, you are spending money on materials. So it's okay to be selfish and it's okay to be picky about the things that you choose to do. If people really want to work with you, they'll work something out. Making your boundaries known, or the structure that you have known, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I can't do this because I'm unwilling to X, Y, and Z. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with saying that. I don't think anybody should sever a connection with you for you making your boundaries known. And if they do, that's probably not someone you would want to work with anyway. For the online part of things, I feel like for the past 5 years, I've just like been cruising with art because I've always had a full-time job. So it was just like, if I sell the work, cool. If I don't, the money's still coming in. Now, I'm not saying I'm extremely dependent on the sales of my artwork for cash flow. At the end of the day, this is my gift. I'm gonna take very good care of it. And if I need to get a job, I will eventually get a job if that comes down to that. However, I will say, with someone who has a website, the ability to do email marketing, has social media, is a visual designer, and has worked in marketing departments where I've basically created the content for companies' social media, I'm doing a disservice to myself by not using everything that I know to be successful. I looked at my social media the other day, and like, I've never like done an introduction of who I am, what my work is about. No, I've never done that. I've also never had like a call to action leading to my website. Like, my social media, I just be like, please buy my artwork. It's for sale on my website. Because I think like we assume that it's a given that it's for sale. Like, we want people to buy the work, but like, you also have to tell people to buy the work. Because even though like I have the links and stuff in my bio, yada yada yada, you know, people will still ask the question of, is this for sale, or where can I find this, where can I buy it? So leading people to my website would be one thing that I know I need to do better, by like literally just saying it, this is available on the website. I need to do better. Like, it's so sad. And then there's like some pieces that I've done that I've never even posted on Instagram or promoted in any way. At all. People don't even know this exists until you see me in person sometimes. And TikTok is kind of like a playground for me. Try different things on TikTok because it seems to be more forgiving and people interact with your post. Whatever does well on TikTok, I may transfer over to Instagram, but not all of it. I feel like with Instagram, I have to have a little decorum, and then TikTok, I just do whatever I want on TikTok, to be honest. Like, I wish that I could have like the artist mystique and not share the things that I'm working on until I'm finished and then just pop out with it. But I don't. Like, as an artist who works independently and is not represented by a gallery, you do have to learn how to do things differently to promote your work and market your work. And I'm not opposed to working with galleries. I just never felt that I had the work for it, because the work I was creating before, it was cool, but I wasn't connected to it to where I was just like, oh yeah, this body of work is worth emailing a gallery and asking for a solo show. I feel like with what I'm making now, I feel, you know, pretty confident about that. I'm also okay with working independently and just going with the flow and seeing what's, you know, there for me. Because I'm also like not only a painter, a muralist, and I'm also someone I just be hopping around. Like, I just do whatever. Working with independently, instead of, you know, having the collectors brought to you, you have to like go fish for them yourself. And so that's what I'm learning and trying to position my post and marketing towards. Like, right now on TikTok especially, I have a following of creators, not collectors, and I'm aware of that, and I want to change that. So I have to move a little more strategically about how I share my work, not just on TikTok, but also on Instagram. If there's one thing that I've learned from my time working with companies, it's that when it comes to like creating campaigns and marketing for a product, it's all about the narrative and connecting to a person strategically through storytelling. And so I have to up my game on my storytelling about my artwork, which is just telling people what I'm about and the work that I create, who I am, all of that stuff. At the end of the day, I just know that having a cohesive body of work will probably solve all of my problems. I have no idea if the mic is picking this up, but there's a band across the street that has been practicing. They practiced yesterday and then they're also practicing today. I'm gonna go outside real quick. Yesterday, they was jamming. I wonder like what they're practicing for and where they're gonna go play at. So I kind of zoned out for a minute. I think the timer is about to go off. But I think I'm gonna cut it early because I was painting before this and I'm hungry. I haven't eaten since this morning. There's like less than 10 minutes on the timer. So this is what we did today. As always, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Until next time.